In this video, I am going to discuss about gas tungsten arc welding process, GTAW process. It is also known as tungsten inert gas welding process. Gas tungsten arc welding process, basically an arc welding process. In this process, arc is created between non-consumable tungsten electrode and the part to be welded. That's a very important point. ഗ്യാസ് ടങ്സ്റ്റൺ ആർക്ക് വെൽഡിംഗ് പ്രോസസ്സിൽ വെൽഡിംഗ് ആർക്ക് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് നോൺ കൺസ്യൂമബിൾ ടങ്സ്റ്റൺ ഇലക്ട്രോഡും അതേപോലെ തന്നെ പാർട്ട് ടു ബി വെൽഡഡുമാണ്, ബേസ് മെറ്റലുമാണ്. സോ ഈ ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സിൽ നോൺ കൺസ്യൂമബിൾ ടങ്സ്റ്റൺ ഇലക്ട്രോഡാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. വാട്ട് യു മീൻ ബൈ നോൺ കൺസ്യൂമബിൾ ടങ്സ്റ്റൺ ഇലക്ട്രോഡ് ഓർ നോൺ കൺസ്യൂമബിൾ ഇലക്ട്രോഡ്? The electrode does not consume during welding process. We have two classification of electrode, consumable electrode and non-consumable electrodes. So in non-consumable electrode, the electrode does not melted and transferred into molten weld pool during welding process. So in a gas tungsten arc welding process, the electric arc is maintained between non-consumable tungsten electrode and parts to be welded. The heat affected zone, molten metal and the tungsten electrode are shielded from atmospheric contamination by a blanket of inert gas fed through GTAW torch. So during welding process, the molten metal, heat affected zone and tungsten electrode are shielded by an inert gas that is supplied through welding torch. So commonly using inert gas are argon and helium, and hydrogen also added in order to increase the travel speed in sometimes. Hydrogen gas is also added with this argon and helium in order to increase the travel speed. In GTAW process produce a temperature of 3000 Fahrenheit. See, the torch contribute heat only. The torch is not supplying filler material. The filler material should be supplied to the molten weld pool separately as like as in oxyacetylene welding process. That's an important point. The welding torch in GTAW only supplying the heat. It does not supply filler material. Filler material should be supplied separately as like as in oxyacetylene welding process. See, this is the gas tungsten arc welding process. Well, consists a welding torch which have a tungsten rod, and there is provision providing for supplying inert gas, and this is the filler material that will be supplying separately. The inert gas will be argon or helium. Hydrogen is also adding in order to increase the travel speed. See, in a GTAW process, types of welding current used for GTAW process are direct current straight polarity, direct current reverse polarity, high alternating current high frequency stabilization. These are the welding current which is used for gas tungsten arc welding process or tungsten inert gas welding process, TIG welding process. The electrode used for TIG welding are pure tungsten. Metal oxide used for alloying tungsten are thorium oxide, zirconium oxide, lanthanum oxide and cerium oxide. Pure tungsten electrode are TIG welding use ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Then that may be some alloying elements are also added like thorium oxide, zirconium oxide, lanthanum oxide and cerium oxide. Advantage: good for welding thin material, good for welding dissimilar metal. So this is a very important point. TIG welding is always good for welding dissimilar metals. Little smoke or fumes, no spark or spatter, no slag, narrow heat affected zone. So these are the advantages of TIG welding process or GTAW process. Disadvantages: slower travel speed than other process, lower filler metal deposition rate, hand-eye coordination is required and skill. Equipment cost can be higher than other process. Brighter UV rays than other process. So these are the disadvantages of GTAW process or TIG welding process. Applications: GTAW used for weld steel, stainless steel, nickel alloy, titanium, aluminum, magnesium, copper, brass, bronze, and even gold. GTAW can also weld dissimilar metals to one another, such as copper to brass, stainless steel to mild steel, etc. So this is one of the main application of GTAW or TIG welding process, which is used for welding dissimilar metals, copper to brass or stainless steel to mild steel, etc. So in this video I have discussed about gas tungsten arc welding process or TIG welding process. Thank you.